Porn addiction. Is there hope? I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, Cognitive Neuroscientist and Sex Addiction Recovery Coach. I'm here to tell you there is hope if you are struggling with porn. But I'm going to break it down for you a little bit so that we can dive into pragmatic hope. Because if you've met me, you know that hope without a plan sometimes isn't the best. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, if you have been struggling with porn for a long time, it means that you've been using those neural pathways in your brain over and over and over that bring you back to porn to regulate your mood, to make you feel better when you're stressed or when you're bored for the most part. That's what science shows us. So if you've been using those neural pathways for a long time, consistently, frequently, and especially with any level of intensity, those babies are grooved in. And what we need to do is to get rid of those neural pathways, let the weeds grow over, let them die off as we build new neural pathways, which involve creating a life that you love, one that has less anxiety, one that has less boredom, one that has a toolbox filled with strategies to regulate your mood when you need to. That, my friend, is the solution. So let's talk about this. Let's dig into it a little bit more. In my program, Porn Brain Rewire, which is filled with all the components that you need to succeed, by the way, scientifically, which is why I'm here talking about it. In that program, you will learn how to unwire the brain pattern that you've been using for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, many years. The brain pattern that drives you back into the screen. So sometimes it's the brain pattern of ADHD. Maybe it's the brain pattern of anxiety. For many people it is. Maybe it's a trauma brain pattern. Maybe it's a brain pattern that's been programmed by the dysfunction of your family. So our brains are trained either in a healthy way from the get-go, being an organic pattern that you're born with, like ADHD, which is a factor that drives people into the screen, with personality disorders, like I just talked about on a different video, and with anxiety and trauma that come along with dysfunction in families. That brain pattern has to be unwired, and the neurorigidity that's caused by it is unlocked, and neuroplasticity is created. And when we create the neuroplasticity, your brain literally becomes more plastic and easier to change. That's why that step number 1, unwiring, is crucial. It's so important. It allows us to move into step 2, which is rewiring your brain pattern, rewiring your brain to use the new neural pathways that lead you to healthy mood regulation and to healthy sexuality. Those things need to be established for you to hardwire in the pattern that allows you to ride off into the sunset. So how do we do that? We do that by training your brain with technology. So if you've heard me talk about the brain training headband, and I've made a video about it on my other channel, Brain Rewire, Dr. Trish Leigh, where I talk all brain stuff, there's a video there telling you how and why the headband helps you to rewire your brain. Then we use cognitive behavioral strategies to help you take action steps to change your behaviors and to change your thought systems and your attitudes and your identity. These things are necessary. If you don't want to join my program, I encourage you to think about these components and find a way to address them in your own life, and stay here on this channel with me. Subscribe, hit the notifications. All the brain tip strategies that I give you are doing just this, rewiring your brain so you think and you act and you have different routines and habits that lead you in the right direction and do not lead you into the screen, lead you away from it into a happy life. So that's the rewiring process. And over time, that can be a little bit of time for some people. It can be a lot of bit of time for other people. And especially if your commitment level is low, it's not 100%. It can be a lifetime for some people. And I do not want that for anybody. So when you commit and you get the right tools, you can move forward in creating a foundation of a lifestyle that breeds your ability to thrive and get you out of survival mode, which is leading you back into the screen. When you go into the screen, you're going there for what I call a dopamine deluge, a flood of the pleasure-seeking neurotransmitter dopamine. Problem with that is it leaves you in a dopamine deficit state in your real life. You've inadvertently taught your brain when you go into the screen, that's where all the pleasure seeking is. And you hear me, pleasure seeking, not just pleasure. It's pleasure plus seeking for more pleasure. So you get caught in that loop of always looking for more higher levels of pleasure. And then you teach your brain, there's no pleasure in the world. My job sucks. My partner's not that good. And we know that it leads to infidelity, 300% increase in cheating if porn's in the mix. So it leads you to be dissatisfied. Work, partner, and you stop doing your hobbies because there's not enough pleasure there. It's all in the screen. The way out, come out of the screen with pivot plan, with tools that work. Get on purpose in your life, create the work, the relationships, and the hobbies that you love so that you set this foundation, which includes new routines and habits. And when you do that, you hardwire your brain. You start using those new neural pathways. You have the tools to regulate your mood, and your life's just better. So there's less need to de-stress and to fill boredom. But at the same time, when you need to, you know how to. Secondly, you set up healthy sexuality. You figure out how to get dopamine, serotonin, the joy neurotransmitter, and oxytocin, the neurotransmitter for connection with your honey. I know what you're thinking, that there's no way you can get a honey who you can actually have fun sex with and have an amazing relationship with. And I am here to tell you, yes, you can. Pragmatic hope. If you don't have a partner right now, or if you've fallen out of enamor with your partner, it's there for the taking. Porn is ruining that for you. You just don't realize it. And when you come out of the screen, you may realize it earlier rather than later, which would be awesome, so that you can take the steps that you need to be able to move through this process to get to the place where you're hopeful again about attracting that partner to you, or by getting back into the relationship you were excited about when you first met your partner. You will find her more attractive when you stop going into porn. She will be more excited to be with you when the vibe of I watch porn goes away. You can have that. There is hope for porn addiction. You just need the right tools. And we also know from science that you need support. So if you join my 90-day program, you also have personalized support from me. I've hired Jackie, a new coach. She's awesome. She's not new. She's new to us coach. There's a video on this YouTube channel where we're talking about what coaching involves. Check it out because she might be a good fit for you. She's very like-minded to me, and I'm so excited to have her on my team. People need people in this journey. That's why I'm here. That's how it started for me. Some of my people needed people because they weren't being served by anybody, honestly, but we'll talk about that in a different day. So I had to step up and become that people. Beautifully and thankfully, I can become the people for you from my own journey. So if you're looking for it, I'm here to help you. drtrishleigh.com. Go check it out. And until next time, hopefully keep hope in the mix here. Control your brain or it'll control you.